I saw Blender Girl's Eevee tutorial video and I felt like it is one of the most structured and simplified Eevee tutorial video there is. However, it is over an hour long, so I thought I should make a shorter version of it in case you dread watching a big video. I would still recommend that you watch it because it explains a lot of things and has more things that I can cover here, but still I'll try my best to cover as many things as I can. I assume you already have switched to Eevee in your render tab and know how to add an HDRI. Okay, so the first problem you can come across is light bleed. This would come to you in two ways. One is here right now, and the other time it would come is when you would bake lighting using a volume probe. It has to do with the way Eevee saves time by projecting light in quantized steps instead of a continuous way, and sometimes not realizing that there's something between two quantized steps. A wall in this example. So a tip is always use a bit of thickness in your walls to make it easier for Eevee to know that there's a wall. So to fix it, go to Render, Samplings, Shadows, Steps, and then increase it. Okay, so the second thing is noise in shadows. It usually happens with softer shadows. When you would go to your lighting, you will see that there's an angle that makes light softer or sharp. So whenever you have softer shadow, you would have noise in shadows, and that's probably one of the things that Eevee isn't good at, to produce like soft shadows. So to fix it, go to Render, Samplings, Render or Viewport, whichever you want to, and then go to Samples and then increase it. Or you can also do Render, Sampling, Shadows, Raise, and increase it for shadow edge noise. So both of these things, maybe it could help you doing that, and less noise in the shadows. But still, try not to make the shadows too much soft, because it probably wouldn't work. Okay, so the third problem people come across is seeing that there's no realistic reflection and hence feeling like Eevee is not good. So to fix it, go to Render, Ray Tracing, and turn it on. You can change the resolution of ray tracing and fast GI approximation according to your need, as it may save render time. Okay, so this is one of the biggest problems that you can come across in Eevee, is having this kind of like shadow behind objects, the black ghost type of shadow. And it happens because Eevee sees in screen space, which means like it only sees what's in front of camera to render things, which means that there are some parts that are invisible to Eevee, and since they are invisible to Eevee, it doesn't reflect it. So to fix it, Shift+A and then add a light probe. Keep in mind that this can increase the render time. Okay, so one thing that you should do is to use volume probes to bake light. And baking light is important here for two reasons. First, volume probes help in making world light of Eevee look better by giving it shadows and other stuff. And second, which is the most important thing, it helps you hide the limitation of Eevee being screen space, because it causes issues like the scene getting super dark when the light is behind the camera, as you can see it here. So simply add a volume probe, contain the scene inside it, go to data and increase the points accordingly, and bake the lighting. Here's a tip. Keep the data points look more squarish to have an equally distributed light. And you can also mess around with the surface resolution to have better results. Okay, so this is the second time you would face light bleed, which is with volume probes and world light. So to fix this kind of light bleed, what you would do is put the last points of volume probes inside of the walls or anywhere it doesn't cause the bleed. Again, I mean inside of the walls, like how thick the walls are, and you would put the last points inside of the walls. What I noticed that wasn't mentioned by Blender Guru in his tutorials was that we don't always have to keep baking the light cache to see the effect. Or maybe I'm wrong here, maybe there's some kind of problem you face if you don't do that. I don't know, let me know. There's two more problems that you face when you use glass material, and the first problem is that glass material doesn't show properly, right? So what you would do is add a light probe around it, make it roughly the same size as the object, and then go to data, probe, fall off, and then change it to 0. Then again go to data, capture, clipping start, and adjust it so that there's no weird light in the object. And the second problem that you would face in glass materials is that you cannot see through the glass, which happens when you're trying to make a glass tumbler or something and you cannot see the milk inside. And that is one of the limitations of real-time renderers like Eevee. So to fix it, you have to make a fake glass instead of real glass. And the way you can make a fake glass is by using transparent shader and a glossy shader for the glass and then add a layer weight to it. Also, to make the glass not look so frosted or blurred, go to materials all the way to the bottom and then change the render method from dithered to blended. So these are some of the points Blender Guru covered in his video. I recommend that you watch it too because it is more in depth. But my conclusion out of that tutorial is that Eevee still has problems and isn't the right option for certain things. I made a video about it, you can check it out by clicking the link here.